What's going on YouTube? Old Tom, Rambler 69. Well, Cesar over at Funky Blues Garage had posted a video about how he had started into modeling, and he wanted to see other people in the community do videos about how they started in building models. And some of you have done videos, some of you said you wanted me to see me do a video, so we'll go ahead and do a little quick video. The best I can recall, I was like 7, 8 years old, and my parents always wanted us to have a hobby of some kind. My mom did all kinds of crafts, and she was a seamstress, and she was sewing and always doing something. And my brother was older. He was already in Vietnam and was in the military. And my sister is a little bit older than me, so it was me and my sister all the time. But I remember my first model kit, we went into like a discount, like a Kmart store, and Mom wanted me to get a model to build. And I picked out a model and went home, and me and my sister gave me some help on it. I was, like I said, I think I was maybe 8, because it was a 67 Corvette Coupe. I remember building that model. My sister gave me some help with it, but I remember painting it with a paintbrush with Tester's bottle green enamel, and the interior we painted with the yellow enamel, just painted it with a brush. But I was so proud of that model car when I got done with it. I kept it for a long time. I don't know whatever happened to it, but I wish I had that one. And that was my first model. And then I started building models on my own. And my sister actually built a few figure models, because my sister is quite an artist. That's her hobby. She paints, and she does oil paintings and acrylic paintings, and she does really, really beautiful paintings. So my sister's really talented with that. So I built models when I was a kid. I built figure models, tanks, cars, trucks, planes. You know, I built everything. I remember telling Edgar over there at Mad Lab that I'd done a 10-speed bicycle. They had a model of that, and I built one of those. I built that Robert E. Lee steamship that Kenny over at Mindless Model Works had got. I built that. I just built all kinds of models when I was a kid, and just really loved building them. And I'm fortunate to have a handful of those models today that I still have, so real happy with that. But it was just a hobby that Mom had pushed for us to do, to have some kind of hobby to keep us busy. And I've always enjoyed building models. And when I got older, naturally, when you got to work and all that, and you got too busy, but I always had a stash. I always had my paint. And when I got settled down and got my own house, was living here by myself, I was building models in by myself for a few years, just something to do in the evening time to keep me busy. I went back to building models. And then I got married and with kids and all that. I was working stupid hours, so I didn't have time to build models, but I still had a stash. I built a few with the kids here and there, a few pretty easy kits. We did a few models, but I still always had my stash. And then my good friend of 30 years, he was building models. I was going over to his shop. He was building models, and he really got my interest peaked again. And I started building models with him full-time, just as a hobby. I got really back into model building with him. And then he passed away I'd say I was about a year or so, maybe 2 years into building models with him. And then he passed away, and I was pretty depressed about it. I really didn't know if I was going to build models again. It hit me pretty bad, so I didn't know what I was going to do, and I didn't build for a while. And then I said, you know, he would want me to continue to build models. He wouldn't want me to stop. So I went back, and I got back at building models, and I didn't have nobody to share the models with. I was just building models for myself, and nobody really seen them. And I stumbled across YouTube one day, and thanks to Chevy Cheeseburger, I made my first video, and the rest is pretty much, you know, I've become a pretty good part of the YouTube community. Met so many great people. I got great friends now, and so many people to share my models with, and been to some competitions and shows, and just it's been a great time. So that's pretty much my story. I mean, it's not really a big elaborate thing as to how I got started, but it was just a hobby. So that's all we got, guys. Keep building. A lot of good stuff going on in the community. It's a great community for sure, and a lot of great stuff going on there. So that's all we got today. Old Tom, Rambler 69. Right here, guys.